Good evening, guys. My name is Maurya Hanspal, and in this session, we're going to continue our previous session on reading the annual report of the company. So, in the previous session, we were here when we were talking about the different directors or people holding the board position in Nestle India, which is a FMCG company. And all these things have been mentioned about the director, like when they were appointed with their whole time or executive, okay, when they were present and why they were not present. If they're present, like if they were present in the meeting, then how were they present? For video calling or personal, offline, all this is mentioned. The board of a company has a good and diverse mix of executive and non-executive directors, with majority of the board members comprising independent directors, because at least like two-third have to be the independent directors in a board. So majority two-third honge. Securities Exchange Board of India regulations, as on 31st, the board consists of 8 directors comprising one executive chairman. Whereas how many executive chairmen are there? 5 independent directors, including 3 women directors and 2 executive directors. That is, अगर 5 independent directors हैं तो 3 women हैं. And women का भी like compulsory होता है, like you need to have at least one women director. Okay. That when the meeting were held, 30th June 2020 को 61st annual general meeting हुई थी कंपनी की. बोल सकते कंपनी को लाइक 61 ईयर्स हो गए हैं इंडिया में. Then here they have mentioned about the details of the meeting. Then here they have mentioned during the year the board met 6 times on 13th February 2020, 14th February 2020, 12th May 2020. They have mentioned the dates and like during the COVID-19, how did they meet? Following the COVID-19 protocol, like video conferencing, all this. All this like you can read the code, though it is not important itna read karne ka. But as a financial analyst, you should know that what exactly is like present here. Yeah. Skills, expertise. All these people who are the directors of the company, they've mentioned the skill and expertise of those people. Consumer insight and marketing, like these people have. E-commerce, digital and new technologies, and M&A, like which person has. Let us see, is there any person who has a knowledge on every field? Other enablers. Okay. These things must be known to you. Like for example, and why these things must be known to you, like for example, if a person is occupying certain position now, like someone became the head of the business and strategy. So it is better to know that if that person possesses enough knowledge or not. And that is why in the past, if you have watched finance news or people who become the CEOs or handle a good corporate position in the company, their position is questioned. That how did this person became the head of this vertical or that vertical, even after having no qualifications in that. Okay. Compliance and code of conduct. And that code of conduct is available on this link, they say. Investor policies. Let's try to copy paste this link. Yeah. See, here they've mentioned policies and code of conduct. The visual mechanism, they've mentioned about the whistleblowing policy. Like if we open anyone, see all these policies, that what are the policies for the whistleblowing? If we go back here. Policies for your like remuneration. Give me a second. And alert, web capture, share extension. चलो leave all this. ठीक है. Yeah. So they have about their like whistleblowing policy, they have their like remuneration policy, they have their retirement policy or dividend distribution policy. Let's go for the dividend distribution policy. How are they like a dividend distribution policy? How is it? They mention about it everything. Code of practices for fair conduct, policy on related party transactions or corporate social responsibilities. All this they have mentioned. The quote of Nestle, we unlock the power of food to enhance quality of life for everyone today and for good generations to come. You might have heard about the quote, that is good food, good life. That is the tagline of Nestle. About us, their brands, investors, media, directors, officers, all this. If you go for like key figures in investors, they'll give you the key figures. Domestic sales, all this they have mentioned. Key financial figures. यहाँ पे if we go directors and officers, they mentioned the name and which position, and even if you click here, you can get to know the profile. See, and a board of directors, and they mentioned Delhi School of Economics. He completed the master's degree, diploma from IMD program. Like if you want to know the qualifications, and he was the CEO of Nestle like Philippines before becoming the managing director here. Brands like if we go particularly to chocolates and confectionery, all their brands are given here. They've given their advertisements. If we want to see the advertisement as well, all their advertisements like which have come into place in the past. And if we want to like see those advertisements, see, all these have been mentioned. Going back. Director, all this we have mentioned. Then stories, all the past activities, the CSR activities, all the people, how they have helped the dairy farmers program, all these things I mentioned. Though from a layman's point of view, like no one would be interested to watch all this, but a person who is a financial analyst and who like genuinely interested into this company would see all these information. Okay. UN Society on nutrition, health, wellness, about us. Let's go back. Nutrition, health, and wellness. How they're promoting like healthy living, your nutrition basics, your recipes and cooking. Further advertisements have been mentioned here. See the advertisements. See all these advertisements are coming here. These advertisements. Like if you want to see their past advertisements also, like the people can see it from here. And सारे products के adverts. See, these are the chocolates and confectionery items campaigns. Okay. If we go on to the different, the Nestle Society, their businesses, our stories about us. Let's go back. Yeah. Your media library. See, everything is mentioned about Nestle here. Okay. So from here you can get to know about the company. Getting back here. Yeah. So this link can give you some additional extra information, which can be interesting for you if you are the financial analyst. Okay. Then they've mentioned about the audit committee. The powers, roles, and the terms of reference of the audit committee covers areas and under section 177. This has been done. ठीक है. The power include investigating any activity with terms of reference as specified by the board, reappointment, remuneration. So basically there are three committee like which we mentioned. One is the audit committee, one is your like remuneration committee, like which decides your salaries and all, and the other one is your risk management committee. So basically these three types of committees are present. Yeah, so this must be stood to you. And they've mentioned about like some of the processes, how these auditors were handling their work and all. Like reviewing the internal records to ensure compliance with the applicable provisions of SEBI provision of trading. All this. Nomination and remuneration committee, as I told you. One is your audit committee, one is a nomination and remuneration committee. रिस्क वाली कमेटी अगर दी है तो स्टेक होल्डर रिलेशनशिप कमेटी. मेनली तीन होती हैं, बट इफ यू फर्दर लाइक बाइफरकेट देयर कैन बी अदर्स एज वेल. ठीक है. So in the nomination and remuneration committee they have mentioned under section 178. So this committee is basically for the nomination, how they are like nominating the directors of the company or the top management of the company, on what basis, like what are the guidelines and procedures. All these things have been mentioned. Senior management and all they have mentioned about all that. Your performance evaluation. Independent directors was done. They have mentioned here. The remuneration of directors, sitting fee, how much fee these directors were getting. And this performance evaluation is basically how the directors and the management of the company were working. So their performance evaluation has been done. Sitting fee, how much they get, their salaries and allowances, and these are in millions. It means that Suresh Narayana's allowances are 85.67 millions. Okay, 85.67 millions, which is nothing but into your 10 lakhs. He's getting 8 crore 56 lakh and 70,000 rupees. Maximum in the company. ऊपर से उसको ये सब भी मिल रहे हैं. Purposes and all. Yearly he's getting 8 crore. These things see, they have clearly mentioned. Then you have the stakeholder relationship committee. So what exactly is the role of the stakeholder relationship committee? The stakeholder relationship committee is responsible for maintaining the relationship between various stakeholders. And what are the stakeholders? I told you in the previous session, who have a direct relation or indirect relation with the management of the company. Your shareholders, your suppliers, your customers, your government agencies, media, all these people. Okay? We are the stakeholders of the company. How they're like maintaining the relations. And further in the stakeholder relationship committee, they have like more committees as well. Then they have their corporate social responsibility committee, CSR activities. The CSR activities are basically those activities which are like maybe to improve the welfare of society, to promote sustainable activities, all these things. Like which promote the betterment of society. Okay, so that is ultimately your CSR. Okay. Next committee we'll discuss in the next session. That is the risk management committee which I was talking about.